Hello and welcome everyone to day 2 of our 14 days of love, where me and you are going to work together in order to manifest your specific person for Valentine's Day. So the first reminder today is going to be basically on the concept of everyone is you pushed out. And so to start things off, I want you to remember your specific person is literally waiting to give you the love that you could ever deserve. And so to start off our video, that's what I want you to comment. My specific person is waiting to give me the love I deserve. Seriously, comment that down below, because each video I wanted to start off with some sort of intention, or at least the first two. Hopefully I remember to do this for all the other videos. But start off with that intention, set it straight, set it right, and make sure that your mind is aligned with exactly what we want. But the concept today is everyone is you pushed out, meaning the love that you give yourself is going to be a direct reflection of the love that you receive in your reality. So always keep that in mind. Because more or less, self-love and self-concept is the basis in which we can build our entire manifestation from. It kind of goes along with belief. Because if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right? I think that's a Henry Ford quote, if I'm not mistaken. But more or less, if you don't believe that you can, and your self-concept does not feel worthy of receiving exactly what you want, it's going to be hard to do it. Because honestly, ask yourself, do you feel worthy and deserving of receiving all the love you could ever ask for? Now, truly, it's kind of a trick question because you were born worthy of this. So whether or not you feel you are doesn't actually matter as to if you truly are worthy, because you are. But this is going to either help us or hinder us with getting into our true power and our true state. Because the more we understand that the love we're giving ourselves is the love that we're going to experience in our external reality from our specific person, the easier it is going to be to manifest them. Because again, you're manifesting them for Valentine's Day, okay? Just a couple weeks away. And I'm going to make sure that that happens. So make sure you are giving your absolute all in every single one of these videos. And so I wanted to kind of come in with a couple different quotes today. And so the first quote is, if you do not love yourself, you will be unable to love others. And that's kind of something that we're pretty familiar with, right? If we don't have this inherent unconditional love for ourselves, how could it ever reflect outside of us? Remember that our entire reality is a mirror, and manifestation is all about unconditional love. And I'll tell you just how our mind begins to play out our manifestation if we do not feel lovable. And it's another quote from a book called 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem that I absolutely loved. So it says, and it's a long one, so gear up for this. If I do not feel lovable, it is very difficult to believe that everyone or anyone else loves me. If I do not accept myself, how can I accept your love for me? Your warmth and devotion are confusing. It confounds my self-concept since I know I am not lovable. So this is something, if we're feeling this way, that's perfectly fine. I've actually had a lot of instances of this happen in coaching sessions, and I would say it maybe even all of them. We all begin to get very confused when you start to receive massive abundance and massive success in your reality. I even had someone in a coaching call yesterday. We were talking to me. They were in my weekly coaching, so we meet up each and every week. And they were discussing how they were getting so much success with their specific person that it was confusing to them, okay? And what they mentioned is, because I want you to think about it this way. When we begin to change states, so when we go from the state of being single into a state of being loved and abundant, your reality changes based upon that. So your relationship, or the things that happen within your relationship with your specific person, are also going to change. And this is something that we can actually find very confusing and begin to actually make us very worried or fearful. So this individual, their specific person, messaged them. So again, getting into this awesome state, messaged them, hey, I'm going to come over later. And so How does that sound to you? You'd say it sounds really good. Like, I wish my specific person would say that to me. And don't worry, they will. But this is what can happen when we're not fully knowing or in this acceptance. Their first thought, because they were so used to a previous state of not being with their specific person, because again, this is what we have to deal with in coaching. When things start to change really, really quickly, it becomes very confusing. Okay. And so their first thought was, oh my gosh, my specific person never says that. They're obviously coming over to break up with me, or to tell me that they never want to talk to me again. Right? And isn't that crazy how our state can actually like confuse us in a way that's like totally bizarre and makes no sense in any other situation, right? And you'd be like, okay, but that's what we need to remember, that as we begin to shift states, things outside of us begin to act differently. And as your specific person becomes more comfortable with you, they are going to change the way that they are acting towards you, right? And I know it doesn't seem normal because that was our previous state, but manifestation is all about shifting into the new and abundant state. So we want to get used to that basically as quickly as we possibly can. And again, if you were in my coaching before, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. And sometimes though, it's crazy. We actually self-sabotage to the point where we actually kind of fall out of these fears or these worries. Okay. So remember, when you are doing great, vow to yourself that you are going to accept an overwhelming amount of happiness into your life. Vow that you are going to accept that. Otherwise, you can accidentally end up totally kind of self-sabotaging yourself, which is okay because self-sabotage is actually something really good. Which on the surface, it doesn't seem that way, but it's good only because you can't be in a self-sabotage state if you weren't doing something absolutely amazing. Okay, like you can't have self-sabotage without being extremely successful. So if you're in a self-sabotage state, don't feel bad. It means you're doing fantastic, okay? So always keep that in mind. And so also remember that only the loving find love. So to get to where we want to go, we can't use feelings or assumptions of hatred, jealousy, resentment, neglect, anger, things like that. Okay, that's not going to get us where we want to go because, as I mentioned, only the loving find love. And that's actually a quote from Neville Goddard. So if we've taken this concept that our reality is a mirror, forever reflecting our internal state, then it makes sense. So to be loved is to love, and to be disliked is to dislike. So how are we viewing ourselves? What type of love? What kind of love are we giving ourselves, and what type of love are we receiving in our external reality from our specific person? The crazy thing is you'll find that those are the same exact thing. I mean, not always, but most of the time, again, because sometimes it's like deeper than that. Sometimes the love that we feel towards ourselves, it'll match in your external reality. So you'll see people support it or neglect it depending on how we're feeling. So we always want to keep that in mind. That I want to repeat this statement because it's so important. Self-concept is the basis or foundation in which we build our entire manifestation from. And so with that in mind, it is the first thing that we kind of want to focus on. Now, I will say, is it something that absolutely needs to happen? No, your total self-concept is like this foundation. And if we don't feel worthy, the main reason that this is the foundation is only because it affects your belief. So I need you to manifest your specific person by Valentine's Day. So we need to get into that belief absolutely ASAP. So we are going to be using literally everything we could ever do in order to get there. And so I also have to touch on another subject that I think most of us know fairly well because of a previous video that I put out. But there's also a different thing that we want to improve on as well that's actually more important than self-concept. And that's called self-efficacy, or your ability that you feel that you can do something. Okay? So self-concept is your feeling of worthiness, and your self-confidence or your self-efficacy is the feeling or ability that you can do something. Because you can feel perfectly fine in your self concept and not be manifesting exactly what you want. Like I was touching upon that previously, right? Of our reality is a mirror. And sometimes we do have this awesome self concept, but we don't feel our reality reflecting that. And then this can go into a state of self-efficacy. So if we just don't feel we're good at relationships, we could have a perfect self-concept every other place in our reality, in our career, with our family, with our friends, with everyone else, we could have a perfect self-concept. But because we don't feel confident in our ability of relationships, you're going to see your self-concept in that area absolutely plummet because we don't feel confident that we can do it. So the trick is that we always want to just continue acting from the new state. Okay. And I always say, and the reason is because your feeling of self-efficacy towards your specific person or relationships is always going to be attached to something that has happened in the past, because our past actually influences the way that we are going to perceive our future. Okay. And so, what I always like to tell every single person, never attempt to undo an action. Okay. Never attempt to undo an action or a state. Only ever act from the new state. Okay. Does that make sense? So, if you did something in the past that you didn't love or you didn't think was perfect, that's okay. We don't have to fix it, right? That was in the past. That's a previous state. You don't have to make up for what you did in a single state if you are now in a relationship state. And it's not gonna do us any good to try, but we try to do that, right? Maybe we do something in the past we're not necessarily proud of, and we feel that we have to go back and we need to completely change it, fix it, or alter it. But I'm telling you right now, you don't have to. I'm forgiving you for everything that has happened in the past between you and your specific person. Right now, you can act as if it is a completely new slate. It's all clean. You can create whatever it is that you want from here on out, because truly it's not going to do us any good trying to undo a previous state, because you actually have to go into that state or that feeling in order to make it so. So to make it right, or undo that previous action, you actually have to feel as you did previously. Okay? Because how can you undo something if you don't know the consciousness that created it? So you actually have to jump into that consciousness in order to change it. So it's going to put us into a previous state. And then by actually attempting to undo something you did in the past, you actually just cause more of it to happen. So always keep that in mind as well. So coming on this idea that everyone is you pushed out, keep in mind, we are not going to change once we get our specific person. Okay? And I know the word change has a lot of meaning, but think about your state isn't going to be different once you get your specific person, because your state is permanently giving rise to your reality as it is. Okay? That's like saying, I'll buy groceries once my refrigerator is full or my cabinets are full of food. Or I'll do the laundry once it's all clean and folded within my closet. And you would say, well, that's not how it works, right? If we are waiting to get into the feeling after we achieve our specific person, we are going to be waiting or in a cycle forever, because the feeling always comes first. You must imagine where you want to go and what you are feeling in order to do that. And I'll give you a little challenge in order to get us there. But that is exactly what puts us into a cycle that we just repeat over and over again. So another reason why someone might be manifesting for 4 years and not getting any results, which again is okay. Never, ever feel bad about the time that it takes to manifest your specific person, because truly, time, as I said before, is only here as a learning experience, okay? The only reason you are perceiving time is for a way for your mind to actually just learn. And once we know it, we can jump a state and create something instantly. We've known that. You guys have seen success stories. I'm trying to think. I have a success story today that's basically an instant manifestation. But so we need to get into the feeling and see exactly what we want in the end state and feel it right now in order to actually create it. So the challenge that I want you to do today, and this is going to be a way to get us into the state of feeling into our end state. So again, if you're not a member and you haven't been receiving or looking at the affirmations, visualizations, journaling prompts, and guided meditations that I put up for my members, this is going to be something that's going to put you into that end state. But if you did want to hop in on all of that, and again, meet up. So tomorrow we are going to be meeting up live at 1 p.m. Eastern time, one-on-one, and I'll be answering all the questions. So basically like a coaching session leading up to Valentine's Day. And then we're going to meet again in a week. So every weekend we're going to meet for that. If you did want to hop into that, just click the link below, become a member, and join the I love everyone in that community. It's absolutely amazing. But just something extra. You don't have to, because again, these videos are going to be always available. You can rewatch as many times as you want. But the challenge is going to be to do something right now, today, loving to yourself and to someone you care about. Okay? And I know this sounds strange, but we're going to perform one action or idea and thought that are going to make you feel loved, and you're going to make someone else feel loved, okay? And on the surface, you're going to be like, but Kyle, that has nothing to do with my specific person, right? Like, me doing something for myself, how does that have anything to do with my SP? And so this is the thinking that puts us into a cycle. Remember, the feeling comes first. We must feel and know love before we see it outside of us, before it can reflect. So the thing is, we want to get into that feeling, get into that state, feel the love now, and then our reality reflects it. Most of us get into a waiting state, and I think I even mentioned this in the video yesterday, that they are waiting for the reality to change for them. But our reality is not going to do this, okay? When we are waiting for our reality to change for us, nothing's going to happen, because it is only reflecting and changing you. And the prime example I always use is, imagine if you were just waiting for your outfit to change based on the reflection in the mirror changing it for you. How long would you sit there or stand there? You would sit and stand for basically forever, right? There would be no time and chance that this would ever change, right? Because if you're waiting on something outside of you to change you, then we are going to be stuck in that cycle. So today, day 2 is all about everyone as you pushed out, meaning your specific person at this current moment is waiting to give you the love that you want and desire right here and right now. And so I wanted to basically use 2 different success stories in order to make this so. So I'll put the first one up right now. And this is what it says. No joke, he literally just texted me. And this was immediately following a phone call that we had together. So again, think of, it was yesterday or a couple days beforehand, because by the time this video is coming out, it was 2 days before. But this person was worried about a third party, okay? There was a third party in the picture. Their specific person said that they did not want to be with them, okay? Keep all of this in mind. Their self-concept wasn't the greatest, but through these ideas that we talked about in this video, their specific person ended up texting them immediately following, all through the ideas and the assumptions that we're having in this video right here and right now, because your reality is always reflecting that which you are being internally. And then I have another success story. I don't have any screenshot of it because it happened during our phone call, but someone also manifested a text during our phone call. And this is not something new that's happening, but this person was long distance. They felt like the last time that they spoke, they kind of scared their specific person off, right? So this is the power in your reality that you can have. By changing states, your specific person can text you and message you right here and right now. And it was all through this assumption or change into a state of being pursued and being loved. So they changed their feeling of pursuing and trying to get something into a state of feeling loved and abundant. And again, within a 30-minute call, so 30 minutes, literally half hour. So in 30 minutes, you can change your reality and manifest a text message right here and right now. And again, this isn't something new because people have done this in my videos as well. But again, I want to reiterate the limiting beliefs. Long distance, the last time they spoke was not a good time. And they were feeling like they were pursuing their specific person and in a state they didn't want to be. And by changing that, received a text message during our phone call. Okay, so 2 times, again, this is 2 of many in which showcases your reality can change really, really quick and really, really fast. But keep in mind, we don't need this level of change right here and right now because you just need to be with your specific person because we're manifesting it that you'll be together with them for Valentine's Day. So keep that in mind and always know, don't allow these success stories to kind of scare you off or make you feel like it's not working because this person's getting a success. If you're seeing this success in your reality, then it means you are also capable of doing the exact same thing, okay? Because your reality is you pushed out. So you wouldn't be seeing it if you couldn't also manifest it. So keep that in mind. Again, if you did have any questions about any of this stuff, thank you guys for joining me again for day 2. If you did have questions, leave them down below. If you did want to send me a personal question, head over to my website at kyleaugustcoaching.com. That's where you can reach me personally. Or if you wanted to work even closer together coming up to Valentine's Day. But just a reminder for all my members, make sure to check out each and every day the affirmations, journaling prompts, and visualizations I'm giving for the day in order to get us into the state, as well as watching the guided meditation that comes along with it. Because I can't tell you how powerful, how amazing, how abundant that's going to make you feel in the process. It's going to take you exactly to your specific person. Also, don't forget, tomorrow, so we usually meet on Sundays, but tomorrow, so Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern time, February 3rd, in that time zone, so you could be in a different time zone or a different day based on your time zone, but Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern time, I'm going live, and we're going to talk about all of this stuff, answer all of these questions, and get everyone on the perfect path to manifesting their specific person. So I can't wait to see you there. Again, thank you so much for stopping by today, and I can't wait to see you in the next video for day 3 tomorrow.